This is the story of Linda O'Keefe. She was 11 years old, a child never forgotten. She was strangled to death in Southern California in 1973. She was last seen alive July the 6th as she walked home from summer school. Her body was found the very next day, but decades have gone by. DNA, swabs, and evidence that the detectives at that time collected were put into the database, and there it sat. For many years, until a new database came up, Ancestry, where DNA can be used to recognize somebody's face, sketch a face from their DNA, and progress the age to how they think they will look like today. And they do a very good job at it, down to the hair color, eye color, and race. As Linda's case went along and new DNA testing was available, there was a hit. They had a suspect of the name James Neal. At the time, he did live in Southern California in the 1970s. He was arrested in Colorado, where he had been living a good life. The photos that were put out and released from the Newport police in an effort to assist and get some assistance from the public. He worked in construction. That's the kind of work he did back in the day, which enabled him to move around to different states and pick up work and blend in real good. He had left California after Linda was killed, alleged killing. And he in fact moved to Florida at that time, and he had changed his name. You can change your name, but you cannot change your DNA. That's a fact. You can run, but you can't hide. So the DNA they took from Linda O'Keefe shortly after her death and was put into a combined DNA index system database known as CODIS, CODIS. It's the Law Enforcement Database. But back then it did not get a hit. But as we know now, DNA has come a long way So after, years and decades, they decided to put in her DNA into the database that is known for ancestry and things like that. This time there was a hit, like I said, there was a hit. So back in January, so this is pretty good, It's great to hear these stories that these old, cold, freezing cold cases were really ice cold, but never closed. They just were never solved. Hoping that one day something would come along. Someone would put their DNA into a database. A family member, a child, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, a father or mother. This is all we need to get a hit on a family member that has committed a crime. And hopefully this will bring some justice. This Mr. Neil is around 73 now. Newport police said they never forgot Linda. Even though her parents are gone. But Linda had a sister who they informed of all the updates. Since April 2018, DNA has identified over 36 suspects, and maybe more now. There is a Twitter campaign for everyone to get the word out that these cold cases have opened doors. DNA has opened the door to solve more cold cases, decades old. The day Linda walked home that day from summer school, she just happened to be dropped off that morning. She normally rides her bike home, but on this day she was dropped off. When summer school was over, she had a friend and they hung outside by the school a little bit, but Linda went back in to make a phone call to her mother. A phone call her mother always regrets. Because on that day, her mother said to her, "I'm very busy sewing." Her mother was a sewer and earned a living that way. And she was so busy that she didn't have time to come and pick up her daughter that day. So she asked her daughter to walk home. And that would be the very last words she ever heard from her daughter. On the way home, there was a car following her. A description of the car was given by a friend that saw a car nearby following her. And then Linda disappeared. So this is one cold case we can close the door on now and bring family some peace. Here is Linda's story. It has been over 46 years. I have a voice again, and I have something important to say. There is a new lead in my case, a face that comes from DNA that the killer left behind. It's technology that didn't exist back in 1973, but it might change everything today. Hi, my name is Linda O'Keefe. I disappeared from Newport Beach. I was murdered and my body was found in the Back Bay, and my killer was never found. And today I'm going to tell you my story. And I am in trouble by my mother. Today I am wearing a dress. It's white with light blue flowers on it and dark blue trim. My mom made it for me. She makes a lot of my clothes and my sister's clothes. And she's really good at sewing. We don't have a lot of money or fancy outfits. Anyhow, about me. I've always been really good at tidying up. Mom says I'm like a little mother and always keep my room very neat. However I clean up, I asked her to come and see. I like hearing her tell me I did a good job. I was walking home. I came to a curb of an intersection. A car came by and the passenger door is open and I'm standing right beside it. Janine will remember that. She saw the driver. It was a man, white, in his mid-20s or early 30s. The police are searching for me. They're searching Fashion Island, the Back Bay. They're on foot, by car, by helicopter. Jeeps are used in places the patrol cars cannot get to. Still nothing. The night I was killed, a woman who lived in bluffs above Back Bay heard a scream. My scream. Stop, you're hurting me. The next day, a man visiting the area found my body. I had been strangled.